What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Hunter podcast. This is a solo episode, so we're literally going to jump into it right now. There's basically no intro. Here we go. So this episode, we're going to kind of just run through some updates with the channel, what to expect over the next few months with Creative Hunter and my channels. We're going to go over some draw updates. We got some draw odds back. We're putting in for some stuff. I want to go over some of the spring bear hunts that I've been on already this spring. And then I'm going to go over some of the new brands that I'm working with that have kind of popped up over the last couple months. Some companies that have awesome products that I'm excited to use, and some companies that I'm shooting some content for. So, first of all, we're going to go over just kind of what to expect. So this channel, Creative Hunter Media, it's basically I created Creative Hunter Media as a media agency and just a way to funnel my business through the Creative Hunter Media LLC. And it's also something that I have pretty big dreams and goals for the future with. It might turn into something big in the future, and that's kind of the goal, is like, where can I take Creative Hunter Media? Are we going to go the route of a traditional media agency where we're creating content, running social for brands? Is it going to stay a one-man band, or am I going to hire people eventually? What I want to do and kind of what the plan is to hire some people eventually, because I want to have, first of all, opportunities to be a leader and teach people and build people up from where I am right now. And if I can provide a super cool experience, an opportunity for someone who wants to get into the industry, then that's an avenue I want to take. But I also want to find maybe a good partner or two that have already been in the industry just as long or longer than I have, who can help just guide the way for other people that we take on, because I want to do creative work that resonates with people, that's awesome, that looks good, and that is relevant to the industry. And a lot of this is stemming from kind of like my experience over the last few years, 4 years in college, and just seeing different industries and how they work, and how I can apply things that are working in different industries to the hunting industry, because the hunting industry has so much potential if you're looking at it from a big perspective of like, where can we take this media wise, content wise, social media wise, because that's what my degree is in, is social media and digital communications. It's like, where can I apply all of this stuff I'm learning into the industry that I love, which is hunting? And it's got me thinking about a lot of stuff. And so we're kind of at a point right now where it's like, I'm taking this full time as soon as I graduate college in 10 weeks, which I'm basically treating it like a full-time job right now, and making it work for myself. And the goal is to build up to a point where I can actually hire people and grow this company into something that's more than just me creating. It's me teaching and creating and growing people and sharing that with everyone. So there's a little rant on where this company's going and the goals I have, and just that kind of the aspirations. And there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not going to dive into everything, but that's just kind of what's been on my mind, what I've been thinking. Okay, we got some cool news. So every year, or for the last 3 years, I have put in for mountain goat tag in Idaho, because it's my home state. I'm a resident. I have decent odds to draw mountain goat tag. There's a handful of units that you can get mountain goat tag in, and I've never drawn, right? It's a hard tag to get, and it's not a point system in Idaho, so it just takes. It's just a matter of getting lucky enough over a certain period of years statistically, eventually you're going to draw it. And my odds have been around like 8 to 12%, depending on the year and depending on the hunt that I've put in for, which really isn't that bad. Last year, I put my wife in for an elk tag that was a really good tag. She drew it. She shot a sweet bowl. There's a film about it. Most of you guys have probably watched it already. Super cool hunt. It was her first big game animal ever, and it was like a nice bull elk. We got it mounted in the kitchen, but this year she told me, she's like, I want to put in for a moose tag. I was like, all right, well, here's your odds. You got like a handful of units that I already know of that are pretty good, that I've seen moose in. You're probably looking at like a 5% chance to draw some of these units. And she was pretty confident about it. She's like, yeah, I want to do it. So I'm like, hey, well, I mean, obviously, like, let's do it if you want to. So she put in for a moose, I put in for my mountain goat again, and she drew the tag as her first time ever putting in for a once in a lifetime tag in Idaho, and she drew it. She had a less than 5% chance to draw. The unit she put in for, they give out 8 tags, and she got one, which is crazy. So we're excited about that. So she has a moose tag. Obviously, since we both put in for once in a lifetime tags, even though I didn't draw, we can't put in for any more Idaho hunts other than you can put in for unlimited quota draws. So I'm getting a archery antelope tag that's just right here, literally 20 minutes from where I live. The unit starts, and I hunted like one day last year, found a bunch of antelope, but it's an archery tag, and so I didn't have enough time to get it done, which it wasn't really my priority. But I'm gonna get that tag anyways, because it's just a fun hunt to fill in if I need to. So I got that, put in for that tag. If anyone is listening right now, it's the Idaho draw is open for deer, elk, antelope, all that stuff. Arizona is open for mule deer, so that's a state that my wife is from, and we've put in for it we put in for it last year. So we've got some points. This year's looking super busy, so we're not even going to try to draw a tag this year. We're just going to bank some points. I am going to try and make it down to Arizona in January and do that over-the-counter archery mule deer hunt, because it just sounds awesome. I think it'd be fun to go down there and kind of just get that experience and try it out. I see a lot of people do it, and there's mixed results. Some people get into a lot of deer, some people hardly find any, but I got some friends who kind of know the area good. So anyways, I did put in for a Utah deer tag, and so we're still waiting on results from that, but I think those come out pretty soon. And then every other state I either didn't put in for or just got points for. So Colorado didn't put in. The point system's going away soon anyways, and I'm late to the game on that one, but it's okay. Montana and Wyoming, just getting points for those states. Okay, next topic, bear hunting. So if you're watching this, I had a little bear hunt vlog come out about a week ago on Sunday, and I just took a little weekend trip into the mountains with my bow, just solo, into a new spot, totally new spot, and documented it. Just did a little vlog video, so it's not like a crazy film, but it's a fun little video. There's some educational stuff in there about still hunting and about just some of the stuff that I was doing while I was out bear hunting. So check that out. It's kind of fun. It's like a 30-minute video just of my weekend hunt. I didn't actually kill a bear, but I did find some bears. If you want a recap on the big spring bear hunt that I did, which was a few weeks ago now, it was with Riley Seeholzer and Jamin Davis. Me and Riley Seeholzer sat down and did a recap on his perspective of the hunt, and I still need to sit down with Jamin and get a podcast cranked out about what about his perspective. So, and that's like a big film that we're making. I am probably about a quarter of the way done with the entire film, maybe a third of the way done. But even being, I say I'm a quarter or a third of the way done editing, that doesn't include, like, there's a ton of creative stuff that goes into it. So realistically, I'm probably more like a tenth of the way done when it comes to just tying everything up and getting all the loose ends figured out and everything. But that's going to be a sweet film. We got Onyx as a sponsor on that film. We were shooting content for Hardside Hydration, for Wilderness Athlete, and for a handful of other companies on that hunt as well. Grakksaw. Yeah, and then just like some of the companies that have hooked us up with some gear. Moose Ridge, Nutrition, Weatherby, DRT Hunting, and Thalete, the clothing company. So anyways, super fun bear hunt, and we got a few bears on that hunt. We got 4 bears between the 3 of us there. So you have to check that out when it comes out. I want to go through, also on the bear hunting thing, we still have like a month and a half left of the season. So I'm going out this weekend with some buddies. And then we're probably going to get out at least 2 or 3 more weekends before the hunt's over, because my wife wants to get a bear, which I would love to get her a bear. And I still have another tag. I'm not like dying to fill my other tag, so I'm totally fine. Not filling it this spring. There's always the fall that the tag carries into, because I already killed a nice bear this year. So anyways, those are all going to get filmed. They'll all get posted on the YouTube channel, and they're mostly going to be vlog style. They're not going to be big film style type of videos. Okay, we're going to talk about some of the new companies that I've been working with this spring. Obviously, there's a bunch of companies that I already work with and I use their gear. Most of these companies, if not all of them, I have discount codes for. So if you use the code CREATIVEHUNTER, all capitals, you'll get a discount. If you check the link in the description of the video or the podcast episode, I've got everything listed, and links to every business, every brand. So if you want to check out some of this gear, you can go check it out. Down there, use the link in the description, and then if you check out, use the code. The code's essentially, for anyone wondering, it's like you get a discount and then I get a little kickback. It's not a lot. It basically, most of the time, it's like you get 10% off. I get a 10% kickback. So if it's $100 product, I make $10 off it. So it's not much, but it adds up over time. So the more people that use the codes, the more money that I can bring in from some of this type of stuff, and just make better content and just support my family and our life and everything. So the first one, I just got a huge box in the mail today. The first one that I want to talk about is Tacticam. I don't have any links or codes for discounts for them, because I just started working with them and they don't really do any programs like that, which is totally fine. But I got a bunch of their cell cams. I think I got 10 cameras from them, and the biggest thing that they want from me is content, so videos and photo assets. So that's what I'm doing for them. I'm going to be throwing a bunch of these out throughout the summer, probably using them in some of the films. Obviously following all the laws everywhere, because there's a lot of laws coming up about trail cameras, especially cell cameras. But I'm excited to get these out and use them. I think I'm going to go set a couple out this weekend, because a couple of the spots that I elk hunt and deer hunt the snows already are melted off, so I can go throw these up and start getting some stuff. So I'm excited about that. So check out Tacticam. They have their cell cams. These ones are the Reveal. I got a few of the Pro 3.0s and a few of the Reveal X 3.0s. So those are going to be fun to try out. The next thing is the DRT or the Dirt Hunting. They make it's a chair and a rifle cover in one. So I'll probably throw a picture up on the video if you're watching, but it's pretty sweet. If you haven't heard of them, you gotta check them out. It's just DRT Hunting. Is I think I know it's DRT Hunting, and I think that's it. But and it stands for, is how you say it is, it's dirt. But I took their chair slash rifle cover on both my bear hunts this year already, and it's awesome. I actually love glassing out of it because it's got like a backrest. I use it at camp all of the time. Literally, it's like if I'm gonna sit down, I'm pulling out the chair and sitting on the chair. It's sweet. And then it also acts as a rifle cover, so if you'll protect your rifle scope, and it's got a barrel cover on it, so you can make sure nothing gets in your barrel, like dirt or just debris or snow. And it's got a handle on it, so you can carry your rifle around super easy. So I would highly recommend that. It's something that I totally use on every hunt since I've owned it so far, even archery hunts, and I've loved it. So check out DRT Hunting, and you can use the code Creative Hunter and save some money there. Next one that's new is Moose Ridge Nutrition. So Moose, Moose Ridge Nutrition. I'm gonna do a podcast with them, I think next week. We're trying to get a schedule and get it all figured out. But they make freeze dried meals that are super healthy, and they have enough in a freeze dried meal to fill you up to actually fill you up. And they put them in a little bit smaller packaging, which I like because a lot of the packaging for the freeze dried meals is like oversized. Sometimes what I used to do with packaging is I would literally open the package, dump it into a smaller bag, and then just make it in a smaller bag in the mountains, because I could save room in my backpack, and it saves a tiny bit of weight getting rid of the packaging. But what I like about Moose Ridge is that they have smaller bags, same amount of food or more. And then they also have these separate little bags you can get that are like little protein add-ins. So it's either like shredded chicken or shredded beef or ground beef. And it's just a little bag, and you can add it into a meal. What I like to do is I was adding those little protein packets into like a top ramen on the mountain. So I'd make top ramen in my pot and then pour in one of those little packets of like ground beef. And so I'd have top ramen and ground beef. It was awesome. You can also add them to whatever the meals that you want. And Moose Ridge is a brand new company, so they just started selling stuff like I think a week ago from when I'm posting this podcast. So if you haven't heard of them, you should check them out. Check out their ingredients. Check out the meals they have. They're all really good. I was actually very surprised. Okay, next company that I just started working with is Sheep Feet. Everyone's probably heard of Sheep Feet. They've been around for a long time. I used to have some of their custom orthotics, and I just haven't used them very much because I didn't love them. Now that was like when they first started. That was like 3 years ago. And so I probably could get some more now, and they probably work better. I know they have more options as far as orthotics go. But what I really like from Sheep Feet is their stocking shoes. So I'm forgetting what they're called off the top of my head. The Stealth Bombers, that's what they are. So they're the Stocksin, or no, the Sheep Feet Stealth Bombers. I also like the Stocksins. Those are moccasin. They're a different company, Stocksins. They make moccasins. But the Sheep Feet Stealth Bombers are super nice because it's a felt bottom, shoe that's meant to be super quiet, and then on the top it's like a mesh material. You can cinch it down really tight. The reason that I really like those stealth bombers is for river crossings, because I hate Crocs for river crossings, and I don't like sandals for river crossings, and I'm not going to go barefoot for river crossings because it could hurt your feet. But those stealth bombers on the rivers are awesome. Favorite thing. Like, if I ever have a hunt and there's a potential of a river crossing, I'm bringing the stealth bombers. They're also great camp shoes. They dry out pretty quick, especially on a warm day. So if you need to cross a river at one point, they're going to be dry pretty quick if you just get them drying out in a sunny spot or in the tent if you have a stove and stuff. So those are cool. I also ran some of Sheep Feet's new socks that they have. They have a heavyweight and a lighter weight sock, like boot cut, super nice. I noticed I liked the heavyweight one better because it just kind of filled out my boot a little better. The lightweight one for my boots currently, my foot was kind of slipping around, but I was having some issues with my boots over the last couple hunts. So I don't think it's really a problem with the socks, because all this. I also brought a couple pairs of Darn Tough socks, and depending on what sock I would use, I would have issues. So the Sheep Feet socks are sweet. Check them out. I've been using them just around home too, and they're super nice. And on Sheep Feet, you can use the code Creative Hunter as well and save some money there. Next thing is I wanted just to shout out the Bino visors that I've got. If you haven't seen the Bino visors yet, you definitely need to go check them out on my website. They have saved a few glassing sessions already this spring. You throw them on the binoculars or the tripod when the sun's starting to get low. I kind of find the best time to use them. It's not like early morning and late evening. It's like mid morning and mid evening, when that sun is still kind of high, but it's high enough and bright enough that it's hitting your glass really hard. Once the sun gets low enough, it's almost like it's not as big of a deal when you're glassing, but it's when it's just high enough it makes it tough. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And next time you're out there, maybe you'll notice. But it was kind of that mid to late morning, mid to early evening, when the sun was still kind of a little bit high in the sky, when I was using the Bino visor the most. And I just keep mine in my Bino harness. It's in the back pocket against my chest, and then I can pull it out, strap it on my binos, my spotter. If I need to shoot into the sun, strap it on the rifle scope super quick, and it's really nice. It's one of a kind. If you use the code podcast15, all capitals, you can actually save 15% on a Bino visor or anything on my website, if you're a listener on the podcast. So that's pretty cool. Check out the Bino visors. So those are the main things I wanted to kind of shout out on this podcast. I just picked up this last weekend a couple of 35 millimeter format film cameras. So I got a Pentax K1000, and then I also got a Canon AE1, and just been like messing around. The reason I got these film cameras is because I kind of feel like I've been in a creative slump recently. I feel like I go out on a trip, I take a bunch of photos, but I don't really come back with anything super cool. And so I was like, there's two reasons I bought these film cameras, but I was like, I'm going to buy a film camera because I've never shot film, because then I'm going to think through some of my shots more. It's like you get one shot basically, not like you can take 30 photos of one moment. You get one shot. I mean, you can take as many shots as you want, but you only have 36 shots in a roll of film. So I feel like I'm already just shooting for 2 days on film cameras. I've already been thinking through more of the process and like, what do I actually want to capture in this photo rather than just kind of spraying and praying. So that's kind of fun. And these are cheap too. I literally found both of these cameras. I bought them off of a guy on Facebook Marketplace for $275, and it was 2 cameras, and they both came with 50mm lenses, which is like crazy. Like, that's super cheap for cameras. And yes, you have to buy film for the cameras, but I was buying some film on Amazon, and I could buy a pack of 3 rolls for $45, and then you have to get them developed. But in my mind, it's like, my goal is kind of to take at least one photo every day on these film cameras over the summer, just document my summer, whether it's trips I'm going on with my wife, whether it's hunts that I go on, whatever it is, and just kind of trying to reignite that creative passion that's in me. And I feel like it already started to do that, just shooting on these for a couple days, and it's been fun. So that's a cool little update there. I wanted to finish off, and actually I got 2 things I want to finish off with. But first of all, if you've been watching some of my Instagram stories and stuff, you've probably noticed I've been running a bunch. I am training for a race here in towards the end of June. It's a 52-mile race in Wyoming, and it's a ultra marathon. So 52 miles straight through the mountains on trails. There's aid stations every handful of miles, so you can refuel with water and food. But essentially, it's like you start and you finish with 52 miles, and you just run or walk the whole way. And I'm excited about it. So I've been training a bunch. I've been putting in, last week I did, I think, 36 miles during the week. And my goal is just to kind of up that till I'm close to that, like 40 miles a week, and then crank out those 52 miles on during that race day. And there's 2 reasons I'm doing this. The biggest reason is it's kind of fun to like have something to train for and to work towards something, to suffer towards something. And I want something that I can go and I can do, and I know it's going to be super tough, but when I finish, it's going to be like the coolest thing, because I'll go through a lot. It's going to be hard to do it, but that's the point. It's like, how can I bring suffering, first of all, like, bring some fun into it and intentionally suffer, so that I can grow stronger, be better in the mountains, hunting, whatever it is, and just build my mental resilience. And this is my way of doing it. Obviously, there's other ways that you could do the same thing, intentional suffering, or just building that mental resilience. And some people aren't going to understand it. Some people are going to know exactly what I'm saying. But I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun. And I don't think I'm going to document a ton of this process. I will document some of it, but I want to make sure that I'm niching down enough in my content and not being too broad in everything I'm doing. Because my niche right now, and what I kind of want to keep it at, is hunting and creative work in the hunting industry. And that's what I love. That's what I want to keep it at. So I don't want to spread out too much, but I do want to kind of share this with people and help inspire people. But it's also a pretty personal endeavor that I'm going on. And I want to make sure I'm not doing it just for the praise of follows and likes and all that stuff, right? And so I'm just saying that to throw it out there and just to kind of like manifest, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do it. And I'm excited for it. So I've been training for that. So if you guys have seen on Instagram, mostly on my stories, I've been posting stuff about it. With over the next few months, I've been working a lot more on creating content plans for posting on social media and for the podcast, for films. So I'm trying to be a little more structured with how I post and grow the channel in an organic way, but also provide value and stick to content pillars that I came up with, and just figure out how to grow this as much as I can over the next few months to a year to sustain myself and my family, to make enough money on Instagram and also creating content for other people. So it's kind of fun, doing a lot of fun stuff. And I'm getting to see a lot of interesting sides of industries, because if you look in any other industry and you think of influencers, okay, so not any other industry, but when most people think of the word influencer, it's like almost has a negative connotation to it. Like, oh, you're an influencer on Instagram. So it almost sounds like everything you do is fake. Everything you do is just to make money or to promote something. But people that I'm meeting and learning about and going through school and looking in under other industries, an influencer is like actually a super cool thing, an idea of like, you can work really hard and create a social media channel, create content that people like and want, and help brands sell things. And obviously there's good ways to go about it and there's bad ways to go about it. And I've just been learning a bunch about this stuff and trying to figure out what's the best ways to go about being a quote influencer, but still providing value, like real value to people, and just figuring all that out. And it's interesting because technically that's kind of what I'm going for, is like being a quote influencer. But there would be people that would argue that like any influencer is like a terrible person or terrible thing to try and become. But in my mind, it's like the title influencer, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just a title that people put on people, but it is something. It is the kind of what I'm shooting for on social media, is to create a living on social media. And in the realm of social media, what that's called an influencer. And people make fun of influencers, especially in the hunting industry, of like, it's like all these hunting influencers are either ruining hunting or whatever. But the funny thing is that like they're still making a living doing it, and people still love them, and they're creating value in people's lives that's real. And I feel like I can do that in a way that's ethical and works for myself, and that actually provides value. And just like any other industry, any other job, there's people that do it very good and there's people that do it very bad. And so I'm just learning about all this stuff and trying to figure out how to make this a career, but do it in the right way. And there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be people who are going to bash on that and think that no matter what, if you call yourself an influencer, or if you are an influencer, or if you do things like influencers do, that's terrible and that you shouldn't do that, and that you're fake, you're a poser, whatever it is, right? But I don't really care, because the people that really matter are the people that I'm impacting their lives in a positive way, and there's real meaning to that, and that's what I'm going for. So that's my rant. That was probably confusing, because it was kind of confusing for me to think through that. But that's pretty much the podcast. So I think we kind of wrap it up. I was going to talk about what my schedule looks like for posting. Pretty much I want to do at least 12 big films every year. So that's one a month. That means I've got to go on at least 12 big hunts a year. And so I don't know if we'll hit that number this year, but that's kind of the goal, is to do that. So that way every month I can come out with a solid film with some meaning behind it, with a purpose that's pretty cool, and that's a hunt that I go on to just provide some value there. And then we have podcasts coming out every week. I'm going to be, if I go on trips and I film them and I know they're not going to be a big film, I'm going to create vlog style videos from them, because I think it's just fun. I think people like seeing that. And I can try and provide some value in those videos as well. And then posting like every day on social channels, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff. So that's kind of my content plan for what this year looks like. I don't have really a lot of content banked up as far as films go. So when I say I want to do a film every month, it's really not going to start until like maybe middle of the fall, or maybe it won't even start till January next year, and just start posting content then, or films, that is, big films, because I don't have anything backlogged, and we got like a whole summer, so we got like 3 months until the next big hunt. So I'll end up posting this big bear hunt film that we're working on here in the next month or two, as soon as I get it finished. And as soon as we just get everything wrapped up with that. But then it probably won't be for a few more months until I actually have a big hunt that I can create a big film from. I am going to be doing some vlog style stuff over the summer. So setting trail cameras, doing some scouting. And then obviously we got a podcast episode coming out every week. So that kind of wraps it up for this episode. I feel like we got in a pretty good groove here. I actually really like these solo episodes, and I probably should do them more often and touch on some questions that you guys have. So if you have any questions, things you want me to talk about, touch on, whatever, drop them in the comments, and I'll try and make a podcast on it. I also love having guests on the podcast, and I'm going to start kind of maybe narrowing it down a little bit more, niche it down, you could say, to more creative people, because that's where I want my channel to niche down to, is creatives in the hunting industry. So I'm going to start reaching out to more creative people, buddies of mine, people who are doing marketing or creative work in the industry, and start having more of those types of people on. And then I'm also going to have on people that I work with them with products and stuff, because I think that's fun, cool, and share some value there. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because I'm just rambling now. But thanks you guys for listening. We got a podcast episode coming out every Wednesday. So make sure you subscribe, like the video, go follow on Instagram. We're doing a bunch of stuff on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, I'm going to start posting a bunch of stuff on there. Just grow some audience on that channel. And then, yeah, that's kind of what we got going on. So thanks you guys for listening. Check us out next week. And with that, we will catch you guys later.